morning to all of you. My name is Peggy from Dutcham. Very warm welcome for another CEO Lunch Talk here at Dutcham. I hope you all had an enjoyable week, and I'm very happy that you are with us on this Friday, hitting bit by bit towards the weekend. But before we do that, we still have a really nice talk upcoming with somebody who is managing probably one of the biggest Dutch companies in the world, but also here in Brazil, a very important organization, one of our biggest Dutch companies here in Brazil as well. And I'm very happy that I can have him on my sofa today, asking a few questions. So I would already like to welcome, he's hiding somewhere, Mauricio Giamellaro from Heineken. Mauricio, hi, good morning, good morning. How are you today on this Friday?
Super cool, super happy having here my lunch in front of me. Of course, I'm not going to be able to eat and talk, but I'm going to be like the barbecue singer. Huh? While I talk, you guys eat. Okay, it's going to be more or less like that.
Oh, but perfect. But I wait for eating as well, because I have a lot of questions to ask to you, Mauricio. Now, I would like to propose, while people are still coming in bit by bit in this virtual sofa meeting room, I would say maybe we can just show already a small video of the company Heineken. I think it's a nice way of introduction.
Mais do que nunca, somos uma casa só. Mas não é apenas este o momento de virada que nos une. A trajetória inspiradora do grupo Heineken é o que nos une. É o que une a Eisenbach, Devassa, Sol, Amstel, Tiger, Baden-Baden, Lagunitas, Kaiser, Skin, Bavária, No Grau, Glacial e a Heineken, é claro. É o que une a Esquinca, Itubaína, Fis. A vontade de estar em cada coração, em cada copo brasileiro, é o que nos une. De reunir as melhores pessoas para fazer os melhores produtos, para ser uma empresa cada vez melhor para o meio ambiente e para a nossa sociedade. Ser a melhor cervejaria do Brasil é o que nos une. O que nos une é a nossa história de mais de 150 anos, que hoje vai muito além da garrafa verde, da Heineken de sempre, mas sempre se transformando. O que nos une é o respeito pelas pessoas e pelo nosso planeta. É o respeito por cada colaborador, cada fornecedor, cada cliente, cada consumidor, compartilhando prosperidade em cada parte que se conecta com o nosso negócio. O que nos une é a paixão e o orgulho que sentimos por cada uma de nossas marcas, por tudo que conquistamos e pelo jeito como conquistamos. Unidos, agradecemos a todos que nos trouxeram até aqui. O que nos une é a qualidade dos produtos e das relações, a vontade de entregar sempre o nosso melhor. O que nos une é o protagonismo, ir atrás de cada oportunidade. O que nos une é a diversão, é o jeito leve de trabalhar, de celebrar as pequenas e grandes conquistas. Celebrar com alegria, segurança e responsabilidade é o que nos une. O que nos une é o que nos faz Heineken. O que nos une é a nossa estrela, que nos faz olhar mais alto, mais longe. O que nos une é o coração verde que bate no peito de cada um de nós, que agora já dá para todo mundo ouvir. Grupo Heineken. Tamo junto de coração.
Beautiful. And with this, once again, I would like to welcome all the people who are coming in now in this CEO lunch talk on a Friday noon. Once again, I would like to welcome everybody. And as I said already, we have a big opportunity today because we are having the guest here, the man behind one of the biggest Dutch companies that we have here in Brazil. He has been with the company already since 2012, if I'm not wrong. He was at that time the VP of Commercial and Distribution, leading more or less 9,000 people in sales to what we can call really historic results. And the journey is continuing for him because in 2019, in March more precisely, he stepped up in the position as president of Heineken for Brazil. Once again, very warm welcome, Mauricio Giamellaro.
Welcome everyone. Super happy to be here. Super touched. Every time I see this video, I get really emotional because we want to be with our style in every heart and every Brazilian glass. And that video reflects the way we're going to do that. Thanks for sharing that video with everyone. Was super cool. Thank you.
Hey, Mauricio, thank you very much for taking this occasion with us and for accepting my invitation to be on my sofa on this Friday. Now, as I already said in the introduction, a very nice track record at Heineken, but it goes much further, because if we see impressive, right? You've not only been working for Heineken, but also for Unilever, PepsiCo, Ricky Benkies, or you've been based in London, in Argentina. You even manage a private equity firm. All of that, very impressive. But the most important question, who is the man behind all of it? Who is the real Mauricio?
Very good. That's the best question, because sometimes we think we are the name of the company, and we are not. And that's maybe the first advice I would say. We are who we are. So I'm Mauricio Giamellaro. I'm the son of Edson and Lourdes. I'm Brazilian. I'm the father of Luana and Lucas, my beautiful sons. And more than everything, I'm the husband of Valeria, which is my mentor, my coach, my therapist, the girl behind all the moves we have done. I moved 11 times in 25 years of marriage. So she's an expert of setting up and preparing us for success. And this is basically who I am. I'm a person who believes in respect. That's my main value. Don't do for others what you don't want the others to do for you. That's the value I try to share with my family every day, to be honest. And it's a value that unfortunately we miss a little bit today in the globe. So that's basically me. Again, I'm an economist, MBA in business in SEAD. Then I did leadership development for young generation in Stanford. So I like studying. Each 50 years, I'm back to study. So that's me, a normal guy that comes from a sales rep position to the position I have today. So proud of what we achieve through people. So that's me, Peggy.
Well, and we are very proud that you are leading this huge Dutch company here in Brazil in a very successful way. By the way, Mauricio, that's fantastic. And it's great to hear also that behind the strong man, there is a strong woman, they always say, right? Hey, Mauricio, but let's talk about the company, because if I go back in times, I mean, Heineken as such, 1873, that was all the start, right? In a very small brewery somewhere in Amsterdam that everything started. But hey, look at it, 150 years later, I mean, it grew out to be one of the biggest companies, breweries in the world. But what is really exceptional, I think, that even after 150 years, the motto has remained unchanged, because you still say like, hey, Heineken doesn't want to sell beer, we want to sell enjoyment. That's quite particular. But how relevant is that, Mauricio, for Brazil? I mean, do we really have a culture of beer here in Brazil?
Yes, we do have a culture of beer in Brazil, a big culture. Brazil is the one of the top 3 biggest beer market globally, just behind China and US. So it is a big beer culture, but I think your question is how Heineken, after such enormous amount of year, are able to keep the history and repeat the history that it was successful in the globe, also in Brazil. So I would say the number one, it's quality. So we do not discuss quality. And quality is what you do when nobody is looking. So when you do quality in front of a customer or in front of a potential supplier, or if you do that with a consumer and they are looking, that's a little bit easy to defend quality. But quality is what you do behind the scenes. And that's one of the things I learned more since I joined Heineken almost 10 years ago. So we do with our product what we would do with the food we prepare for us to eat. So we believe that we can do a lot of cost cutting, we can do a lot of margin improvement actions, but we do not play with the liquid. So that will be the number one. The number two, it's a family company. So even being as big as it is today, the vast majority of the shares are still in the hands of the Heineken family. So you have the legacy, you have the respect, you have the people touch, you have the autonomy to innovate. So all this as you would do with your own family. So I would say those two things made us be what we are today. And of course, then we add a little bit of fun with the advertising, with the sponsorship, with the campaign. So that's basically the secret of the success. And again, doing all this behind our values, which is people respect, for example. So that's the way we won in Brazil, okay, and globally.
Talking about this sponsoring and communication, we come on that topic very soon, Mauricio. But just you're saying it's still a family-owned business. How Dutch is it still? Because it has become so globally oriented. Do you still feel this what kind of we call orange spirit inside of the company?
Yeah. Look, I think the legacy is behind the Dutch history, which for me is respectful. And as you said when you introduced me, I worked. The biggest time of my life I spent in Dutch companies. First Unilever, 9 years, and now Heineken, also 9 years. And one thing I learned is like to be disciplined, precise in what you do, straightforward, don't go around the house, and the can-do-it attitude. No, if you look Amsterdam, what the Dutch people were able to do in Amsterdam, so a city that is below the level, the sea level, and look, it's amazing. So the Dutch always find a way to do it better and nicely. So that's basically what we keep in our orange culture inside Heineken. So I would say the can-do attitude.
Isn't that a bit difficult sometimes for a Brazilian who is not so straightforward, who likes to chit-chat and have the... How is that for a Brazilian to work with this?
It's cool. It's fun because you're right. It challenges to be direct, to be straight. But at the same time, and I keep saying that to all the Dutch people, and as you can imagine, I know a lot. I have very, very good Dutch friends. Behind the straightforward, there is a very soft heart. So, and it's for Brazilians, we won the Dutch through the heart. So that's basically what we did through passion. So they love our passion. So every time I receive a visitor, or I have in my board, I have two Dutch guys. So every time we talk about our dreams, we talk with so much passion that we convince the Dutch that's the right thing to do. So but it's super cool. I enjoy working with the Dutch culture.
So you bring them the passion, and they bring you the organizational
that's
part.
It. Yeah,
exactly.
More or less like that.
Allow me, because if you talk about Heineken beer, then it brings me also to some other consideration. Enjoy responsibly. I mean, we all like to have our drinks, right? We all love to have a Heineken beer. But I think that Heineken has always been playing a very active role when it comes down to let's say, encourage people to consume in a responsible way. How important is that for Heineken? Is that some role that it's not a bit, being uncomfortable because you want them to drink, but how can you manage that? You're a mute, by the way.
I know. I will just show you that that's a big example of enjoy responsibly. There is something that the CEO, the previous CEO, Jean-François, used to say, and the CEO before him, that is in our culture, is that Heineken prefers to sell 8 beers to 8 people rather than 8 beers to 1 people. So we believe we can grow respecting the health, respecting the consumption, respecting also others which are not willing to drink. So we believe that, yes, we do work for an alcohol company. And because we do that, we need to have even more responsibility with the moderate consumption. Okay, so that's why we are so aggressive. Just for you to know, Peggy, 10% of our media spend, it's mandatory, globally, mandatory to go to consumption with responsibility. So whatever you do, you need to spend part of your money teaching people how to drink responsibly. It's very different from our competitors. This is something that makes us a little bit unique and also make us reinforce our value of respect. Just for you, I want to tell you a story. When I decided to join Heineken, one of my biggest doubts, because I have two children. I have not children anymore, but still my babies, but my daughter is 23, my son is 22, and I have kids. And one of my main concerns, Peggy, was to get home and to see one of them drunk. And I would say, hey, why you did do that? And they would say, hey, but you pay my study, you pay my bills selling beer. I was puzzled by that. And then I went deep on Heineken culture to understand what Heineken used to do to avoid this kind of confrontation. And then I found myself super protected. So since I joined here, I'm super concerned about that. That's why we also have non-alcoholic drinks. Mm-hmm. So that's why we sell water. But that's why we believe that we can sell Heineken and we can drink responsibility, truly. And this is what we've been doing.
Yeah, super to hear that. Hey, coming back on the organization in Brazil, 13,000 people, Mauricio, this is just an amazing number of people. How important is Brazil if you look at it on a global scale?
Here I'm going to have to speak on behalf of 13,000 crazy Brazilians, fully passionate, fully on board. For you to know, Peggy, Brazil is the #1 country of Heineken globally, and we were in position 17 just 4 years ago. We became the #1 operation of Heineken out of nothing, because not even out of Amsterdam, because the Dutch unit is not that big. It's very profitable, but not that big. So we are #1 in volume, and we are top 5 in profit, and we were like top 20. So I think we've been scaling up. Mexico, in terms of profitability, is still our biggest operation, but in terms of volume, we are #1. And in terms of the green bottle, we are double than the second, which is US. So that's how proud this team should be of the job they did in the last 8 years, I would say.
Yeah, impressive. Now, indeed, talking about people, I remember, Mauricio, because you're also an active part of our board at Dutcham. I mean, you've always been very supportive to us. I remember one of the discussions that you said, talking about talents. It is a war for talent. I think even during this pandemic, bringing in talented people. Again, you have such an impressive brand, you have such a nice organization. How hard can it be to bring in talents in your organization?
Excellent question. I would say to you, the pandemic brought a lot of great things. For example, what we are just doing right now would be quite impossible to do before. So having people together easier, that's the positive. Also, I think we understood again, how could we trust more than control. So because when you are far from each other, we need to trust more than control. So that's another learning from us. But there is one risk, which is the talent change. We are seeing that at Heineken. We see the talents, mainly the young people. They are always trying to rethink their life, rethink the way they relate with work. And that's affecting us, but it's affecting everyone globally. Brazil. I just came from a meeting in Miami, our regional meeting, and was amazed to see that we have almost 20% turnover in some countries, okay? In Brazil, the brand helps us a lot to attract talent. It's a fun brand. Events, nightlife, enjoyment. So when we talk about young generation, has been not a difficult thing to attract talent. So just for you to know, we are with the trainee program open. At this stage, sorry, I maybe give you the wrong number because keep increasing. We had more than 50,000 people applying for the position. That's our record. The last one was 8,000. So it means something for us. But you're right. It is a fight for talent, the right talent, but it's also a fight to keep the talents in the company. Because they are looking for new things, they're trying to going for sometimes startups, and then they got frustrated because a lot of startups do not have the structure. to support them in their development. So, you know, but some of them wants to start their own business. So it's not easy for us as leaders to keep these guys motivated and engaged, but it's good. It's a good challenge.
Exactly. Hey, I think what also has been very attractive to young people, so not only for young people, I think it's now one of the must-haves in a company, it's the sustainability aspect. Not only Heineken has green bottles, but I think it goes much further than the green bottle, right? Because you have sustainability in your DNA. Looking at Brazil, Mauricio, let's be honest, I mean, the world is looking very often to Brazil in a very negative way when it comes down to sustainability, unfortunately. Where do you see the biggest challenges and how do you tackle that as Heineken here?
Excellent. By the way, thanks, Peggy, to allow me to talk about that, because the sustainability is the new pure malt. What I want to mean by that, sustainability for Heineken now is what it was the pure malt 7 years ago. So we're going to be, and we already are, the beer company. So we don't want to be the biggest. I saw some questions here, but we don't want to be the biggest. We want to be the best. And to be the best, you don't need to do things that make you grow, but then you forget the rest. I will give you examples, okay, of what I'm saying, because people need to believe. Reasons to believe on sustainability. Number one, from this month, 100% of the Heineken green bottles, okay, are going to be produced with liquids that are done with green energy. So we will not use energy that pollutes the planet for the Heineken production. So Heineken production will be 100% green. First beer globally to do that, okay, beer company. Second, our Sol, we have a brand called Sol. We have a lot of our competitors talk about the beach, talk about these kind of things, but we have a brand, Sol, which is 100% produced with solar energy. But we don't stay only in energy. We also do social, because sustainability is also what you do with the people. So Baden-Baden is our brand, craft brand, produced in Campos do Jordão. So now, a part of the money we make with the brand, we're gonna replant araucarias, the trees that are typical for Campos do Jordão, which are disappearing in that area. So we're gonna take our money and replant araucarias. And the one I love more, because I love dogs, Lagunitas, super cool brand. I love this brand. I think this brand has a potential to become the second Heineken. Lagunitas is the brand that supports dogs and supports humans to treat dogs with respect. So how we do that? We take part of our money and we donate to ONGs that help the dogs to get houses. So small things that we can say, and we are very proud to say that our competitor can't. So it's still on the product, on music, on woman on the beach. So that's the way we are building the brands, and sustainability is for sure the new way of doing that, Peggy.
I think my dog will even apply for an exposition at Heineken now. He will be very, very happy to hear all of that.
Good, I have three. They work for Heineken already.
But indeed, I think it's an important thing, right? I mean, it's not only anymore nice to have that you put on the wall, but I think you have to put it concretely into actions. And I think Heineken is doing that very well. Maybe, Mauricio, we should communicate even more on that to get this image out also.
We will.
Because we're too shy on that, right? I mean,
I fully agree.
We don't talk too much on that. Now, bringing us back to we can't go around. COVID has shaken the whole world upside down, probably also your world. But let's talk about business in that sense. I mean, bars, restaurants, everything has been closed since months. I cannot believe that there has not been an impact for Heineken business-wise. Did you see a switch? Have people picking up their consumption, let's say, at home fully? How do you see that? What happened for all these months?
We did have an impact, but was not. We had a positive impact, I have to say. The bad impact of the pandemic was in our people, because we lost 20 important members of our team out of the 13,000, and that was super sad, and it was not something easy to digest. So that was the worst part, and we always put people first. So during the pandemic, we had an agreement, a public agreement, to not dismiss anyone. And we did that. So we kept our teams exactly as they were, even with all the cost pressure and lack of top line, and by consequence, bottom line. But the curious part of that, Peggy, is that the consumption of Heineken didn't change because they moved from the bars to their houses. So as we are much stronger in off-premise that we call supermarkets than bars, we actually gained during the pandemic. Our share increased. Now that we change our route to market, we are going to be as strong in bars as we are in supermarkets. And that's an opportunity for us. So during the pandemic, to be straight answering your question, we didn't feel that much the impact because we are stronger in supermarkets and people continues to drink at home. So that's basically the way we cross during this tough period.
Yeah. Is there also a switch? I'm just wondering in terms of the brand that they drink, because as you said, you have not only Heineken, but you have different brands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did that have a sort of a switch as well in what they consume? Did they consume different?
No, honestly, not a big... The consumption is already changing, not because of the pandemic, Peggy. The consumption is moving towards economy brands, which we are leaders. So just for you to know, there are 4 segments of beer in Brazil. Super premium craft, premium, mainstream, and economy. I came from the top to the bottom. We are leaders, people don't know that as well, but we are leaders in 3 of the segments: super premium craft, premium, and economy. We are not leader in Brazil overall because the biggest market is mainstream. That's why we launched Amstel, Devassa, and now Tiger, because we want to be strong and offer good products also in the mainstream. But during the pandemic, the premium and the premium craft start growing even more accelerated, which we were not expecting. So I think people decide to reward themselves. You know, if I'm not going to be able to spend money in an event, in a show, I'm going to take care of myself, and they start choosing the best beers for them. And luckily, Heineken was there. So that's basically what happened.
They upgraded ourselves, like all of us do a little bit, to give it a little bit of positive thing. Hopefully they keep on using these premium brands also afterward, because I see somebody's asking, well, if they go back to the bars one day, will we see then a move from consumption back to the bars?
It's already happening. It's already happening back. Just the last 3 months, it is amazing to see how the bars are picking up. Thanks God, because we even create a campaign back to bars to support the bars during this crisis. But it is already happening, and I know Brazilians needs to be together. We were born to be together, so we're gonna go out, and we're gonna go out quite knowing Brazilians. Prepare for this New Year's Eve, Carnival, Rock in Rio, just for you to know. Rock in Rio sold out in 1 hour and 32 minutes. More than 150,000 tickets sold in 1 hour and 32 minutes. So people will go out.
Yeah, but we're all desperate to go back, Mauricio, just back to the normal, right? I mean, when that will happen, that's another thing. But also talking about a bit less positive thing about the pandemic, I think that also your team has been suffered a lot in terms of, the mental health. How can you take care, if you see so many people in your organization, how in hell can you take care of the well-being of your people, making sure that they're really okay? Because if we talk through a video like we're doing now, we can say, yeah, we're fine, But how do you manage that, Mauricio?
Very good. I don't manage that by myself and alone. I'm a part of a team. HR, my people area, we don't call HR anymore. Área de pessoas, we call. Did a program called Heineken Cuida, which touch exactly the point you're bringing. We are so many times in front of the camera that we do not realize how bad this could be for your mental health. So we copy with proud from some companies. I even learned that, for example, from my daughter, from the company she works. We implement Friday without Teams. So Friday without Teams. So once a month, we do not allow people to go on Teams. So you work as you used to work before, alone, unfortunately, at your home, but you read your emails, you take your coffee, you do whatever you want. Heineken already implement a very nice, how can I say, work-life balance program. Before pandemic, we have short Fridays. So we work, by the way, I'm working a little bit more than normal because I should have stopped already, but we work until midday, 1 hour on Friday, because then people, but it's every time, it's not only during the summer. So all the months of the year, Heineken stop working at noon Friday, because then people can travel, people can go to the hairdresser, they can talk with friends, they can go happy hour a little bit earlier, whatever. So this is the way but we need to do something important. But we also did something that we did a Heineken Live with their families. We had 40,000 people watching a program where we were giving confidence of people that they would go through this situation. We had a psychologist, therapist, talking about how to behave in the house, because you have more people in the same house. So one guy bothered another one. For example, I talk really loud, I can tell you. So if I'm here, someone downstairs on my house, they say, hey, shut up. So these kind of things, we teach people.
They cannot put you on mute, huh? They cannot put you on mute, Mauricio. It doesn't work.
If I had a mute button, I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be pressing. But I think we did the best we could. Still, we can do better. But I'm proud of, by the way, we won our award in the HR competition with our Heineken Cuida. So, but we still have to take care of that. Easily we can go off track.
Yeah, we're going to learn from your organization as well, because we're stealing a few of your examples to publish soon in our mental health magazine that Dutcham is launching. Thank you for that already, because good examples. But then we talk about your people, but what about Mauricio? Who is motivating? Who's encouraging Mauricio? Who's giving you
That's an easy one, I have to say. I live for my family, truly. Every time I have a magazine or I have someone talking about me, or I got good news from my career, I'm always looking at my family. So that's basically, I really, that's my purpose, not to make sure that they are proud of me and they can be really, how can I say, understanding the reasons why I do what I do. So that will be the number one. The second thing is I really believe in purpose, Peggy. And more you grow, of course, money is always important. Everybody needs money to live well, but I think the more you have, more you understand that more it's not going to make you happier. But if you do something with purpose, or you do something you like, then you find a way to keep going. Okay, that's what's happening with me right now. So when you get a position that, thanks to my team, thanks to my family, I got, thanks also to the companies I've been working for, you start say, okay, what else? And for me, it's working with purpose. So for example, when you talk about sustainability, that's a very good catch, because there is area that I say, good. So the young generation believe much more, thanks God, huh? They believe much more in the planet than we used to do. My generation was not that good on that. And my previous generation, even worse. So now, maybe that's a way. So for me, what keeps me awake or keep me, motivated and keep going, it's being recognized as a good father, being recognized as a good CEO for the planet. And the third, I believe that when you are admired, it's more important than you are when you are respected. I think people respect you because your position, but I would like people to respect me because they admire the things I do. So that's basically what I'm working for.
And enable them to inspire them as well, right, Mauricio? I think this is also one of the things that is typical about you, that you like to inspire the people that work for you, right?
And you do that through example, Peggy. So you need to lead by example. So there is no way out. It's very difficult to say something and do something different.
Exactly. Hey, before touching the last question, I'm just, because I have to look at time, because you're already, you're in a Friday where you should not be on Zoom.
No, but I'm fine.
Or
I'm fine to stay 5 minutes more. I'm enjoying. Peggy, you are a fantastic reporter. Huh? You should change job. No, we don't want you to change job because you're taking care too well of our chamber. But you're doing well.
Well, I've been hunting you for years, Mauricio, to have you on my sofa. You see, that was not so hard.
Super cool. Great. Congrats, Peggy.
Hey, but let me also pick a question from the audience, because I think it's a nice one. Indeed, I think Heineken, coming back to business objectives, Heineken has always been watched by competitors. How we can do better or attack Heineken in a commercial way. But what is the key of success? How does it come that Heineken is such successful? It's the good results, they don't come just like that, right? I mean, it's not by coincidence, right?
Yeah.
What is the key to success, if you can say that?
I will answer with Brazil case, right, Peggy? You're more understanding Brazil. So Brazil. I saw some questions here as well. So winning in a market which is not dominated by one competitor is difficult, but it's not that difficult. But winning in a market where the competitor has the vast majority of the segment, then that is something you have to be proud. And we are very proud. So just for you I can share some numbers with you. We used to have 8% of beer market share in Brazil 5 years ago. We have 23 today. Mm-hmm. And all this coming from the biggest competitor. So that's not a
but nice... Why, Mauricio?
I will explain to you. I would say, first, because we decided to do something different. So when you want to win in a market which is dominated by someone, don't go with the same strategy. Bring your own way of winning. And you're going to say, okay, but what is this way? First, talk about product. I remember me jumping in a car, Peggy, and had to drive 20 minutes to visit a customer which used to sell Heineken. Mm-hmm. It was 200 customers. Now we have more than 300,000 customers selling Heineken beer. In that moment, all the customers I used to visit, they were telling me, come on, your beer is too bitter. That's never going to find Brazil. Brazilians don't like beer which are bitter. They like light beers. Why don't you change the formula? And some people even sometimes think we change the formula. We never, because we are not allowed to do that. People say, but in Amsterdam is different because there you drink beer a little bit hotter, not hotter, but 2 degrees, between 2 to 5 degrees higher than the beer we drink in Brazil. That changed your perception of taste. So not changing the formula was maybe putting us under threat, but then we explained to consumers with the Pure Malt campaign, água, malte, lúpulo e nada mais, what we mean by that. So that was the number one catch. Number two, we brought a different way of communication. Before Heineken, you would open a TV and you watch TV and you see a campaign. If you knew it was beer because it was a woman, sorry about that, unrespected, naked on the beach, and everybody around drinking beer. We were the first company to come with a communication that was Heineken in the closet. That the guys walking in the closet, open and start shouting that he found beer. That was innovation. And then 007, Rock in Rio, Champions League. So you don't see one campaign. Now Amstel, I am what I am. I am going to give you a spoiler, but you're going to see the new campaign of Amstel about football, which is respect. So these kind of things, it's impossible to copy. And consumers understand that that's the way to go. So I would say, and on top of all this, a passionate team. The team that working
to change the traditions, right? I mean, to talk always the same way about beer. I think you did that in a fantastic way, absolutely. But indeed, the question on that, the taste of Heineken, sometimes people say it tastes different indeed in the Netherlands, in Europe, in America or in Brazil.
I always get that.
Once again, the formula is the same, right?
It's just for you to know. I love that one. Every single month, we need to send samples of our beer in our 12 breweries, sorry, 12 not, because not all the breweries produce Heineken. 4 breweries, we have to send to Netherlands for them to give a note. If the note is below 6, we have to throw the beer out. Okay, just for you to know. And the formula is exactly the same. I want to reinforce that. Exactly. And people say, Mauricio, cannot be. I went to the Heineken experience. When I drank the beer, it was different. It was a little bit more bitter. But it's first is the temperature. Temperature of your body and temperature of the beer. Just for you to know. Our beer here is sold between -5 and +1. The beer sold in Europe, it's between 1 and 3. It makes a huge difference for your taste.
Papillas, yeah.
Exactly. So your papillas degustativas. That's the difference. But the formula is exactly the same. So not only in Brazil, everywhere.
But that makes that the beer here just tastes much better, and it's not only the temperature, Mauricio. It's probably also the environment that is much more fun in Brazil to taste a Heineken with the vibes.
And another thing, Peggy, because I love this part of the because I learn a lot with the production guys. If you taste a beer which is very fresh, like we produce, beer is different than wine. Wine older, whiskey and wine better. Beer, fresher, better. So when you drink a beer which is close to the expiring date, it tastes worse than a beer that you drink which is out of the tanks. So that's why freshness is also important.
So the message is, don't keep your beer too long in the fridge. Just drink it quicker. That's better.
Quicker, but with moderate consumption. Okay, with conscious.
Exactly. Hey, but Mauricio, I think this is a nice ending for the talk. I mean, the weekend is coming up now in a few hours, maybe already for some of us in the audience right now. So I would say, let's all take a beer out of the fridge and have a Heineken. Thank you very much. Is there a last message that you want to share with the audience just before going to the weekend?
Yes, I do. First is for the young generation, just believe that you can do better. Believe that there are a lot of companies that are there to fulfill your dreams. Believe in what you're doing. I think this is what we need. We need to be positive. It's not an easy moment. So we need to be all believing in our country. Brazil is a fantastic country. I can say that. I left Brazil for a 10-year experience. I can tell you it's the best country to work. It's interesting to go out to learn, but be back and make Brazil even better than it is. And of course, keep drinking Heineken, Amstel, Eisenbahn, so and all the brands, because it's going to be good for your health, but also for the planet. Thank you.
Absolutely. Hey, thank you very much, Mauricio. It was really nice talking to you. Thanks for all these positive vibes. Wishing you a very good weekend. I'm so happy that you are finally willing to come on my sofa. Thank you very much for the talk.
Thank you, Peg, and congrats to you and Duda to prepare all this so nicely. Thank you. Ciao, ciao.
Super. Have a nice weekend.